Welcome to the DoD Counterintelligence Awareness and Reporting Briefing. This briefing is unclassified. On September 11, 2001, American Airlines Flight 77 left Washington Dulles International Airport en route to Los Angeles with a 6-person crew and 58 passengers. 5 of those passengers were actually terrorists who hijacked the plane and intentionally crashed into the Pentagon. The attack on the Pentagon killed 184 people. The Department of Defense is the target of both foreign intelligence threats and potential terrorist attacks. On any given day, a foreign intelligence agent or terrorist may be assessing a DoD employee for recruitment to commit espionage or acts of terrorism. We must remain vigilant in recognizing and reporting signs of espionage and terrorism.
At the conclusion of this briefing, you will be able to explain the role each individual plays in counterintelligence, summarize the threats posed by foreign intelligence entities, or FIE, recognize collection methods used by FIE to obtain information, recognize recruitment efforts of FIE, describe the potential threat posed by trusted insiders, list potential espionage indicators, or PEI, list warning signs and indicators of potential terrorism, list the reporting requirements for PEI and anomalous health incidents, or AHI.
Module 1. What is counterintelligence? What is counterintelligence? Counterintelligence, or CI, as defined by Executive Order 12333 as amended, is information gathered and activities conducted to identify, deceive, exploit, disrupt, or protect against espionage, other intelligence activities, sabotage, or assassinations conducted by or on behalf of foreign governments or elements thereof, foreign organizations or foreign persons or their agents, or international terrorist organizations or activities. The National Counterintelligence Strategy of the U.S. states that CI includes defensive and offensive activities conducted at home and abroad to protect against the traditional and emerging foreign intelligence threats of the 21st century. In addition to collecting and processing intelligence about our enemies, the intelligence community is also faced with the problem of identifying, understanding, prioritizing, and counteracting the foreign intelligence threats that are encountered by the United States. This activity is known as counterintelligence. The core concerns of CI are the intelligence entities of foreign states and similar organizations of non-state actors, such as terrorist organizations and the trusted insider. You are the first line of defense. Remember that CI involves more than simply the catching of spies. It is, in fact, concerned with understanding and possibly neutralizing all aspects of the intelligence operations of foreign nations. The government relies on you to protect national security by reporting any behavior that you observe that may be related to a potential compromise of sensitive information. In the spy game, there are few true friends. Only temporarily coinciding interests keep countries cooperating. All foreign intelligence entities can pose threats. Most foreign governments still place a high priority on U.S. government information despite the end of the Cold War. As a DoD employee, you can be the target of a foreign intelligence entity anytime, anywhere, because of what you have access to, because of who you have access to, or because of what you know. Remember, family, friends, and coworkers may be viewed as a means to gain information about you. Report suspicious behavior to your unit security or counterintelligence office. The threat isn't just foreign intelligence officers. It is also from hackers, criminal elements, and insiders who have agreed to aid our adversaries. Both foreign countries and domestic competitors may attempt to collect information on critical technologies from DoD personnel or contractors. Common sense and basic CI awareness can protect you against foreign intelligence entity attempts to collect classified, unclassified, or sensitive information. According to the Assistant Director of the FBI's Counterintelligence Division, Randall Coleman, in 2015, there was a 53% increase in economic espionage cases, leading to the loss of hundreds of billions of dollars. This number increases yearly. Module 2, Understanding Our Adversaries. Foreign entities are actively engaged in efforts to gain information from the U.S. and its allies. To defeat our objectives and advance their interests, they attempt to collect information about our plans, technologies, activities, and operations. In an attempt to manipulate and distort the facts of intelligence we gather, they may conduct covert influence operations. They seek to detect, disrupt, and counter our national security operations. In addition, they wish to acquire technology that will enhance their capabilities or economic well-being. If they can learn our methods of operation, they will be in a better position to carry out their plans. Our defense industrial base is the target of foreign intelligence entities who feel they can win the war on our economy through industrial espionage. Since the Defense Department relies on the cleared defense contractors developing our nation's classified or most critical technologies, that puts DoD in the same crosshairs. Our adversaries are highly sophisticated, constant, and pervasive. Regardless of the method or activity, foreign intelligence entities seek one thing: to learn more about the Department of Defense plans in order to exploit its information and impede its mission. Traditional activity includes foreign intelligence entities operating out of embassies, consulates, universities, and trade missions. Internal spies or their sources, the insider threats. Non-traditional activity includes foreign government-sponsored commercial enterprises, international trafficking organizations, and terrorist organizations. What do they want? Defense information. This includes classified and unclassified information, personnel information, locations of sensitive information and technology, security weaknesses at cleared facilities, and personnel weaknesses that may be exploited. Many nations' intelligence organizations target defense information, and they will do all they can to obtain it. As government employees, our greatest vulnerabilities are those things we take for granted. For example, foreign intelligence entities use intercepts of cell phones or other wireless signals, intercepts of open telephone lines, intercepts in hotels while TDY, looking through the trash, simple conversations online or in person, and hacking into unclassified or classified systems. Module 3, Collection and Recruitment Methods. Some methods of operation, or MO, frequently used by foreign intelligence to collect information include elicitation, unsolicited requests for information, visits to DoD installations or facilities, international conventions, seminars, and exhibits, solicitation and marketing of services, academic solicitation, cyber activities, and open source. Select each of these collection methods to learn more. Elicitation is a form of social engineering. It is the process of subtly drawing forth and collecting information from people through a seemingly innocent conversation. Foreign intelligence entities frequently use elicitation to extract information from people who have access to classified or sensitive information. Foreign visits include one-time visitors, long-term visitors such as exchange employees, official government representatives, foreign sales representatives, and students. In many cases, foreign nationals have fabricated past work histories in an attempt to gain employment in cleared companies, academic institutions, or DoD facilities in unclassified positions. Some indicators of this collection method include invitations for cultural exchanges, individual-to-individual exchanges, or ambassador programs, offers to act as sales or purchasing agent in foreign countries, internships sponsored by a foreign government or foreign business, and purchases of foreign-made equipment. It is your responsibility to ensure that any contact you have with a foreign national or entity in the course of your duties has been thoroughly evaluated by your agency's security officials. Technological advances have made simple mistakes costly to information systems. The malicious insider, like the disgruntled employee, saboteur, or co-opted employee, has the capability to disrupt interconnected DoD information systems. Other inadvertent actions, such as using easy passwords, practicing poor computer security, and emailing or placing personal files on your computer, can provide foreign intelligence entities an avenue of penetration into DoD systems. Aided by a team of highly sophisticated and well-resourced outsiders, the severity of insider malicious activity may be significantly amplified by inputting falsified corrupted data, introducing malicious code such as a virus or Trojan horse, hacking, also achieved via wireless or Bluetooth, chat rooms, elicitation and relation building, and phishing. All of these actions can potentially reduce or compromise our effectiveness and place in jeopardy the lives of our men and women. An unsolicited request for information is any request that was not sought or encouraged by DoD for information from a known or unknown company or from another country. They may originate via email, telephone, social media, or mail. The explosive growth of the Internet and abundance of free email accounts has resulted in increased cases involving suspicious Internet activity. Although the monitoring of telephones and hotel room intrusions are not as likely to take place within the continental United States, this does not preclude a hostile entity from developing and exploiting a relationship with hotel employees. Technical experts may receive invitations to share their knowledge in international forums or could be pressed for restricted, proprietary, and classified information. Some indicators of this collection practice are conversations involving classified, sensitive, or export-controlled technologies or products. The foreign country or organization hosting the event unsuccessfully attempted to visit U.S. government installations or facilities in the past. You receive an all-expense-paid invitation to lecture in a foreign nation. Entities want a summary of the requested presentation or brief several months prior to the lecture date. Excessive or suspicious photography and filming of technology and products. Casual conversations during and after the event hinting at future contacts or relations. And foreign attendees' business cards do not match stated affiliations. Academic solicitation is a method in which foreign intelligence entities use students, professors, scientists, or researchers as collectors. These individuals are recruited to improperly attempt to obtain sensitive or classified information. Requests may originate from known or unknown sources, including foreign universities or academic centers, individuals overseas or placed in the U.S. quasi-governmental organizations such as research centers and institutes. There are several situations which may be an indication of attempted academic solicitation. A foreign student who has been accepted to a U.S. university or postgraduate research program may be recruited by their home country to collect information. They may be offered state-sponsored scholarships as an incentive for their collection efforts. U.S. researchers may receive requests to provide dual-use components under the guise of academic research. U.S. researchers may also receive unsolicited emails from peers in their academic field soliciting assistance on fundamental and developing research. Overqualified candidates who seek to work in cleared laboratories as interns may indicate an attempt at academic solicitation. Other attempts may occur when candidates seeking to work in cleared laboratories in areas of study incompatible with the requesting individual's field of research. Intelligence entities may also send subject matter experts requests to review research papers. Foreign intelligence entities also collect information from publicly available sources. Examples of open sources of information include newspapers, magazines, radio, television, computer-based information, online communities and user-generated content such as social networking sites, video sharing sites, wikis, and blogs. Government reports such as budgets, demographics, hearings, legislative debates, press conferences, and speeches often contain information of interest to our adversaries. Corporate or business websites can also be used to gather the open source information. For instance, corporate financial information can be collected from sites like Reuters or Dun & Bradstreet. Amateur airplane spotters, radio monitors, and satellite observers have provided significant information not otherwise available. The availability of worldwide satellite photography on the web, like Google Earth, has expanded open-source capabilities into areas formerly available only to major intelligence services. Professional and academic conferences, symposia, professional associations, academic papers, and subject matter experts may also be open sources of intelligence information. According to DoD Directive 5240.06, titled Counterintelligence Awareness and Reporting, reportable FIE-associated cyberspace contacts, activities, indicators, and behaviors include actual or attempted unauthorized access into U.S. automated information systems and unauthorized transmissions of classified or controlled unclassified information, password cracking, key logging, encryption, steganography, privilege escalation, and account masquerading, network spillage incidents or information compromise, use of DoD account credentials by unauthorized parties, tampering with or introducing unauthorized elements into information systems, unauthorized downloads or uploads of sensitive data, unauthorized use of USB, removable media, or other transfer devices, downloading or installing non-approved computer applications, unauthorized network access, unauthorized email traffic to foreign destinations, denial of service attacks or suspicious network communications failures, excessive and abnormal intranet browsing beyond the individual's duties and responsibilities of internal file servers or other networked system contents, any credible anomaly, finding, observation, or indicator associated with other activity or behavior that may also be an indicator of terrorism or espionage, data exfiltrated to unauthorized domains, unexplained storage of encrypted data, unexplained user accounts, hacking or cracking activities, social engineering, electronic elicitation, email spoofing, or spear phishing, and malicious codes or blended threats such as viruses, worms, trojans, logic bombs, malware, spyware, or browser hijackers, especially those used for clandestine data exfiltration. A Personnel Security Research Center study revealed that 2/3 of those convicted in recent espionage cases were volunteers. But that still means that in 1/3 of all espionage cases, a trusted insider with placement and access was recruited to collect and transmit protected information. The recruitment process can be broken down into 5 phases and may take up to 3 years to develop. Select each phase to learn more. In the spotting phase, the Foreign Intelligence Officer identifies the target. The intelligence officer may begin by accessing the corporate web page to identify candidates to target via emails or social engineering. In the assessing phase, the Foreign Intelligence Officer will look for exploitable weaknesses such as alcohol abuse, drug use, extramarital affairs, gambling, or other financial problems. In the developing phase, the Foreign Intelligence Officer attempts to establish a close relationship with the target. Once established, the Foreign Intelligence Officer makes an offer to help the target with his problems. If the target takes the bait, the Foreign Intelligence Officer recruits the target to move into a more clandestine relationship. In the handling phase, the Foreign Intelligence Officer will instruct the target on specific information needed. The Foreign Intelligence Officer begins paying the target for his efforts. The target is now hooked and on his way to espionage. Module 4, Indicators. Some indicators of foreign intelligence entities targeting are being invited to lecture or attend a conference in a foreign country, singled out for socializing or special attention, meeting a foreign national and becoming romantically involved, and becoming personally involved with known or suspected foreign intelligence officers or foreign intelligence entities. Potential espionage indicators, or PEIs, are activities, behaviors, or circumstances that may be indicative of potential espionage activities by an individual who may have volunteered or been recruited by a foreign entity as a witting espionage agent. Many of these methods result in detectable behavior and activities that could indicate an act of espionage. Some potential indicators are unexplained affluence, concealing foreign travel, unusual interest in information outside the scope of assigned duties, unusual work hours, taking classified material home, disgruntled, copying files, unreported contact with foreign nationals, attempting to gain access without need to know, unexplained absences, foreign travel of short duration, avoiding polygraph, terminating employment, and illegal downloads. These indicators are not limited to those with access to classified information. What is a security anomaly? Foreign power activity or knowledge which is inconsistent with the expected norm that suggests that foreign powers have knowledge of U.S. national security. Examples of anomalies include an adversary conducts activities with precision that indicates prior knowledge. An adversary uses technical countermeasures to block a previously undisclosed or classified U.S. intercept technology. Foreign officials reveal details they should not have known. An adversary is able to anticipate DoD plans and activities. And media is waiting where a sensitive DoD program will be tested. Detecting an anomaly requires a degree of suspicion. Don't simply believe that the unexpected activity was coincidental. Anything that doesn't fit the pattern could be an indicator of espionage. When in doubt, report it. Module 5, Terrorism and Force Protection. As you may recall from the definition of counterintelligence, it included international terrorist organizations or activities. Unfortunately, acts of terrorism are an all too common fact of modern life. Who can forget the December 3, 2015 attack in San Bernardino, California, where shots rang out at the Inland Regional Center and 14 people were killed by Syed Rizwan Farouk and Tashfeen Malik. On June 12, 2016, an American-born man who'd pleaded allegiance to ISIS gunned down 49 people in a nightclub in Orlando, Florida, the deadliest mass shooting in the United States and the nation's worst terror attack since 9/11. On July 16, 2015, a lone gunman shot and killed 4 Marines during 2 attacks at military facilities in Chattanooga, Tennessee. All of these terrorist events have one thing in common. They were inspired by a foreign entity intent on harming America. These state-sponsored terror attacks are well known and their costs are devastating. On September 16, 2013, a lone gunman fatally shot 12 people and injured 3 others in a mass shooting at the headquarters of the Naval Sea Systems Command, or NAVSEA, inside the Washington Navy Yard in southeast Washington, D.C. Workplace violence is any act or threat of physical violence, harassment, intimidation, or other threatening, disruptive behavior that occurs at the work site. It ranges from threats and verbal abuse to physical assaults and even homicide. It can affect and involve employees, clients, customers, and visitors. However it manifests, workplace violence is a major concern for employers and employees nationwide. DoD Instruction 1438.06 requires all components to establish a workplace violence prevention program and to properly investigate and address workplace violence events. Supervisors must immediately report threats of workplace violence to their management and appropriate military or civilian authorities. Your workplace violence program must also ensure that annual training is provided for all employees. Perhaps the most famous attack inspired by a foreign entity happened on April 15, 2013, when 2 bombs went off near the finish line of the Boston Marathon, killing 3 spectators and wounding more than 260 other people. 4 days later, after an intense manhunt, police captured Johar Tsarnaev, whose older brother, Tamerlan Tsarnaev, was killed in a shootout with police earlier in the day. The 2 bombers did not have any established ties to a foreign entity. They had become self-radicalized and acted without direction, but the results were devastating nonetheless. Whether it be foreign-inspired terrorism or workplace violence, everyone has a responsibility to be alert for any indications of a threat, regardless of the source. but so-called homegrown terror can best be spotted through tips and reports of unusual activities. According to DoD Directive 5240.06, titled Counterintelligence Awareness and Reporting, reportable international terrorism contacts, activities, indicators, and behaviors include advocating violence, the threat of violence, or the use of force to achieve goals on behalf of a known or suspected international terrorist organization, advocating support for a known or suspected international terrorist organization or objectives, providing financial or other material support to a known or suspected international terrorist organization or to someone suspected of being an international terrorist, procuring supplies and equipment to include purchasing bomb-making materials or obtaining information about the construction of explosives on behalf of a known or suspected international terrorist organization, contact, association, or connections to known or suspected international terrorists, including online, email, and social networking contacts, expressing an obligation to engage in violence in support of known or suspected international terrorists or inciting others to do the same, any attempt to recruit personnel on behalf of a known or suspected international terrorist organization or for terrorist activities, collecting intelligence including information regarding installation security on behalf of a known or suspected international terrorist organization, familial ties or other close associations to known or suspected international terrorist or terrorist supporters, repeated browsing or visiting known or suspected international terrorist websites that promote or advocate violence directed against the United States or U.S. forces, or that promote international terrorism or terrorist themes without official sanction in the performance of duty. When it comes to defeating terrorism, the phrase to remember is, if you see something, say something. Report any suspicious or unexplained activity. Trust your instincts. Report potential indication of terror activities. Remember, it's not your job to investigate, but it is your responsibility to report it so authorities can. Module 6, CI Responsibilities and Reporting Requirements.
So, what should you do? Everyone has CI responsibilities to keep our nation's secrets and to protect ourselves and our coworkers. Remember, if you see something, say something. To learn more about your CI responsibilities and the reporting requirements for CI-related incidents, select the Requirements and Responsibilities buttons.
Everyone is required to report behaviors and indicators of potential FIE threats. DoD personnel should report potential FIE threats and anomalous health incidents, or AHI, to their organization's CI element, supporting MDCO, or their commander. DoD personnel who fail to report PEI information may be subject to judicial or administrative action, or both. Persons subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice who fail to report may be subject to punitive action under Article 92, UCMJ. DoD civilians and contractors should report the threat without delay to their facility's security officer or supervisor. Civilian employees and contractors failing to report may be subject to appropriate disciplinary action under regulations governing civilian employees. Non-DoD civilians who fail to report may face sanctions as outlined in their Facilities Security Implementation Plan, or HR policies.
If you feel you are being solicited for information, prepare in advance. Practice responses to possible questions concerning your duties. Never answer questions which make you feel uncomfortable. Without indicating that you are uncomfortable, change any conversation that might be too probing with respect to your duties, private life, and coworkers. Be observant. Note as much as possible about the person asking questions. Do not probe for information. Nonchalantly ask questions about them. Be especially wary of questions about your personal information or colleagues. Provide nondescript answers. Leave the talking to someone else. Practice good operations security. Do not leave sensitive documents or equipment unattended in cars, hotel rooms, or hotel safes. Store the information in appropriate secure facilities like U.S. military or government site, a U.S. embassy, U.S. federal law enforcement office, or a cleared contractor facility. Keep unwanted material secured until it can be disposed of. Burn or shred paper and disks or other media. Practice good communication security. Do not use personal, commercial computers or telephones for sensitive or classified matters, especially at a foreign establishment. Take the time to use secure communications equipment at appropriate U.S. government establishments, such as an embassy, U.S. federal law enforcement office, or a cleared contractor facility. Take the battery out of cell phones before holding sensitive discussions, and beware of being overheard in public. A rule of thumb. Ask yourself, does anyone need to know the information? Is there a need to share the information? We need to continue working toward establishing and maintaining dissemination and control procedures that balance need to know with necessity of sharing classified information. A significant number of individuals convicted of espionage and other national security crimes had access to and later passed information that they had no need to know.
Anomalous health incidents, or AHI, also known as Havana syndrome, may cause individuals to experience unexplained sensory events coupled with physical symptoms, including some combination of sound or sensation of sounds, pressure, vibrations, heat, and/or unexplained physical discomfort such as pain, nausea, and disequilibrium. Symptoms typically include headache, pain, nausea, unsteadiness, or a vertigo-like feeling, and cognitive fog. Some reported a clear area of effect where one can move out of the sensation. If you believe you have or are experiencing an AHI, immediately remove yourself, coworkers, and family members from the area. Seek any necessary medical attention and report the event. Here is some additional information about AHIs. AHIs are not fully understood. Suspected AHIs are a mandatory reportable CI anomaly. Suspected AHIs can occur worldwide, CONUS and OCONUS. Though the events are rare, timely reporting is vital to investigations, operations, and to a speedy recovery. An affected individual will need to report suspected AHI through their chain of command, security officer, and their CI element as soon as possible. Voluntary debriefs are extremely valuable, and it is encouraged that all government personnel and covered contractors participate in AHI interviews or debriefs.
Those who commit espionage face severe penalties, including fines, up to life imprisonment, and death. According to the Economic Espionage Act of 1996, the penalties for economic espionage can be stiff. Those using stolen trade secrets to benefit a foreign government face a fine of up to $500,000 and/or up to 15 years in federal prison, while companies can be fined up to $10 million for stealing trade secrets for another government. Those who steal trade secrets for their own gain may be fined and/or put in prison for up to 10 years. Companies can be fined up to $5 million for using stolen secrets for their own gain. Congratulations, you have completed the CI Awareness and Reporting Briefing. In order to receive